Alright, so this video is just a little tip that I want to help some of you who are stuck at this ice belt frozen lab where the aliens, these ancient aliens, are working on. And your job obviously is to collect the codes so you can go down to the power station, and from the power station go to the quarantine and start the generator. So to go from medical bay to the power station, you're going to need 4 codes. And to collect those codes, you need to go and look at those biolabs and look at those cocoons where these aliens are stored, and you scan them, collect the codes, align the codes, and you will be able to have the codes to go ahead and move on to the next level, which would be the power station. Power station is where we turn on the generator so we can, have the electricity in this facility so we can use all the other operating machinery that's ancient alien technology, right? So, where do you find the last code? The last code is going to be at the medical bay. All right, so this is the medical bay. All right, let me just give you a better perspective. Let me zoom out. So this is the medical bay. Make sure you save the game. All right, so once you get and collect all the other codes and scan everything, right, and you scan all of these aliens inside a cocoon, make sure you come here. This is where you need to be, in this area right here on the map. So hopefully you guys are paying attention. I might even take a photo just to show you. Hold on. Here, I'll take a photo. So this is where it's at. It's right here. All right. See where the triangle is? That's where I'm at. Okay. So what am I talking about? I'll tell you in a minute. I just want to show you the map so you know where to go. Okay, so this is where, hold on, this is where, like this. This is where in the map it is, right here. It took me a lot of time, but this is the beauty about the game. You have to, think and scan everything and use a trial and error. All right, so it's a medical bay. It's on the medical bay, and this is where it's at. It's right here, okay? It's right here. I'll take another photo. It's right here. Okay. So essentially what you have to do is you need to use your fire shot to shoot at this. What is the fire shot? Here, let me tell you. Hold on. Fire shot is this. Okay? This is your fire shot. This is just your regular rockets. And this is your fire shot. So make sure you have a fire shot because you're in this frozen laboratory. See, on the top right, just below the top right where the radar is and the map is, right over there, you will see highlighted pink 3 out of 4. So I need one more code to collect before I can open that other door facility that it's blocked. But you need to shoot at this frozen whatever this is. This frozen metal thingy that's hanging above, right? You need to shoot this thing down with a fire shot, and it'll drop down. When it drops down, then you use your psychic scanner, and with a psychic scanner, there it is. All you have to do is to just align this properly, and you will get the code. You will have all 4 codes. You have to do this very carefully. Hold on. This is a bit tricky. It's not easy, but we'll get it. I think it's this way. There. Hold on. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. There you go. Oh, come on. There it is. TK code. We're talking about the TK code fragment collected. And once you have done that, then you need to go back. Now you have all 4. You see, it says green, 4 out of 4. So you collected all of the TK code fragments. So now you have to go back, get familiar with the map. Okay, this is a video. You guys want me to make some more of these videos as a tip to help you? I will only make those videos if you guys are really stuck and you don't know what to do. Okay, you know, you don't have time and you're really stuck. Okay, I'll help you out. But I think the beauty about this game, it's for you to figure things out. That's the rewarding process. This is what I was saying. The rewarding process is you trying to figure this out, right? And that's the beauty about this game. Don't rush through this game. Take your time, you know. All right, so now you need to go back to where was it? Outside, right here. This part right here, that's blocked. This is the part that's blocked. This is where you save the game. And this is the part right here that's blocked. And you will need to have that code to unlock that area. So we're going to go there. We're going to exit out of this. We're going to get out of here. Get familiar with the map. Get familiar with the corridors in this facility. It's very important that you take your time and get familiar. I would also advise you to save the game. You know, since you're here, save the game. I think the game, it's save it right here. Or is it right here? Wait. Let me look at the map. Okay, saving the game, it's over here. Hold on. It's right here. It's right here, I believe. No, it's on the other side. My apologies. It's this way. It's this way. Save the game. Why do you want to save the game? What if you lose the power or your game crashes? You know, you don't want to go through this crap again. You know, right? You know, you already, you know, wasted enough time. So save the game. Okay, these are tips. I'm trying to help you out. Once you save the game, all right. Now you got the TK codes. Now we're going to go back. All right. We're going to go back and see, it's right there. As soon as you save the game, as soon as you exit, there it is. And this is what you need to unlock. So when you unlock this will take you down to the power station. And once we go to the power station, then we need to restore the power generator. And once we restore the power generator, then we need to go down to quarantine. And once we restore the quarantine, I have a feeling there will be some sort of a boss that you will have to fight. And then, you know, once you finish the boss and, you know, defeat the boss, then of course you have to go back to the surface. And you'll talk to that soldier from Federation. Okay. But look, I'm showing you this just in case you get stuck and you're like, man, I don't have time. I'm a busy guy. And you're like, man, I really want to, you know, speed up the process of finishing the game. Okay, I'll make those videos and I'll help you. But I just want you to understand one thing. The rewarding process about Metroid is solving problems. And I think this is what I love about this game. This is why I'm so, like, fascinated by Metroid. Who would have thought I would have become a fan? I'm a fanboy of Metroid. You know, I hated the game because I didn't understand it. But now, thanks to KJNBA25 for gifting this game, I totally understand it. And I'm a huge fan of Metroid. Because I love solving problems, dude. Yeah, is there a problem? All right, let's solve it. Maybe I should work at NASA. I don't know. I love solving problems. I really do. Maybe I should work at NASA or Lockheed Martin or something, or Area 51. Let's solve the problems, you know. So, okay, let's exit this. So how do you do this? Okay, so you use your psychic abilities. And it will show you what the code is. As soon as you scan this, it will show you the code right on the top right. I want you to pay attention to the top right. You see where that pink, purple, maybe I'm colorblind, but it looks purple. It's purple, right? Keep an eye on that top right purple side of her helmet. Okay, just keep an eye on that on the right side, and you will see which lines do you need to draw to open this. So just keep an eye on that right side. You can pause the video, pause it, rewind it. If you missed it, rewind it, pause it, and you will see it on the right side of her helmet. Okay, same as his helmet. So let's scan. How do you scan? You press the trigger, and the code will relieve itself. You see, there's the code right there. See, the code is right there. I'll even take the photo of it. There's the code. So now you know what you got to do. So this is the code. Okay, let me show you the code. This is the code, so you know. You see, the code's right there on the and this will be the thumbnail. Here we go. And that's what you have to draw. These are the lines you have to draw. All right. Now let's go back to the game. And am I using a mouse? I always use the mouse. Listen, I know there's a gyro. You can use a gyro, but when Nintendo switched to, I love using the mouse control on the Joy-Con, on the right Joy-Con. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead, draw the lines like that, like that, and there you go. And now it's open. Open Sesame. Save the game. All right, just so you don't have to do this again. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. The save is right there behind you. All right, these are all tips that you guys are welcome to use. All right, I'm trying to help you out. But this is only if you're really stuck and you're like, man, I'm losing my mind. I don't know what to do. All right, relax. Breathe normally. I'm here. All right. But just remember, that's the whole point of Metroid. It's for you to think, to solve problems. Same thing with the bosses. When you're fighting these difficult bosses, yes, they're difficult, but they're not impossible. So how do you defeat them? Well, you think. What are their capabilities, and what are my capabilities, and what do I got to do to suppress their capabilities? Knowing your enemy, understanding your enemy, etc., etc. Art of war. All right? Okay, so now we can continue to the map. It's very important that you get familiar with the map. All right. And you also look around. Look at the layout of the map. This is another thing that I started understanding. Like playing these old Metroid 2D platformers on like the Game Boy Advance, right? You really have to get familiar with the map. I'll say this again. I'll keep saying it over and over again. I think probably the most important thing besides scanning, and you do a lot of scanning in this game. I mean, that's the whole point. It's like a detective work. But besides the scanning, I would say the most important besides the scanning, the second most important besides the scanning, is to get familiar with the map, the layout of the map. That's how you keep going back and forth, back and forth. And that's why you're frustrated. This is why you're going back and forth, because you're like in a maze and you don't know what to do. You're in a maze because you're not familiar with the map. Okay? You don't know the layout of the map, so you're just going back and forth, wasting your time going back and forth, back and forth. You need to get familiar with the layout of the map. This game requires a lot of patience, requires a lot of understanding, and don't rush through it. Learn from me, okay? Learn from the guy who was a hater of the Metroid. And look at me, a newborn. A lot of people can't believe. Even people who hated me, they're like, holy shit, I have to resubscribe to this guy. He came around. He's like newborn, resurrected. Well, thanks to KJNBA. Honestly, this is, listen, if it wasn't for KJNBA 25, I would still be the same guy, hating on this game, trashing it. But thanks to KJNBA 25, because of him, I have a much, 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 much better understanding of Metroid Prime. All right, so besides scanning, which is very important, the second most important, or in my opinion is probably the most important, is the layout of the map. Understand the layout of the map, where you are in the map. This is very important. Once you are familiar where you are in the map, then you know what you got to do. You know where you got to go. All right, I already been here. Try this, try that. There's nothing there. Let's go back over here. And then, of course, the second most important is scanning. But sometimes you might have to go back again. Because did you scan everything? This is why you shouldn't rush through this game. Did you check everything through all these levels? See, that's what the game is doing. It's asking you, are you really, or are you sure? Did you really scan everything? That's how they're testing your IQ and your focus. This game is testing your focus. Did you really? Oh, you missed it, forest for the trees, didn't you? It was right there in front. What's the best way to keep a secret? Would you like to know? Would you like to know a little secret? What's the best way to keep a secret? And where do you keep a secret? Right in front of you. Forest for the trees. Right in front of you, and you never knew he was there. That's the best way to do it. But see, that's what they're doing. They're testing your focus. They're testing your IQ. All right? And that's the beauty about this game. And I think this game is good for your brain to think. All right. So, what have we learned? Yes, scanning, the most important. Obviously, you have to scan everything. The second most important is the layout of the map. Understand the layout of the map where you are. Okay. And what is your mission? What are you trying to do here? All right. You need to unlock another corridor. You need to unlock another area in this recovery bay or wherever you are, or whichever facility. So scan and understand the layout of the map. Keep scanning and understand the layout of the map. So that way you don't go back and forth in some sort of a maze. Why is scanning so important? Because scanning will tell you a valuable information of what you need to know. So that way you don't waste your time. But if you're rushing through the game and you're not reading everything and you're just speeding through it, you are not allowed to speed through this game. All right? So people who say, oh, it's a short game. I guarantee you those individuals have not played the game. You cannot speed run through this game. Oh, it's a short experience. Bunch of nonsense. Yeah, if you are, given all the details, like if you went through internet and somebody gave you all the tips and walkthroughs like I'm doing right now, telling you what you need to do. Yeah, if I tell you what you need to do and you don't have to think for yourself, yeah, sure, you're going to speed run through this game within 10 hours, 12 hours at tops, maybe 13 hours. But the idea of this game, once again, I don't want to repeat myself like a broken record, is to think for yourself and solve the problems yourself. That's why I'm like a huge Metroid fan. And that's why I want to play Metroid Prime Remastered. I know it's $40, but I have no choice, Once I get some money around, I'll Metroid Prime Remastered for sure. Dread is definitely on my list to play. And thank God that I have expansion pack till November of 2026, so I can play all those other Metroid classic games from the library of Nintendo expansion pack. All right. All right. So, layout of the map, scanning. Scanning and the layout of the map. These two are very important. Scanning and layout of the map. Sometimes you might have to go back again. Did I scan everything properly? Did I? Double check. It doesn't hurt you to double check. It's good. It's good habit to have to double check. It doesn't mean that you have a OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. Okay, it just means, hey, I'm double checking, making sure. So, all right. Get familiar with the layout of the map, scanning. And what's the third? The third is understanding the bosses. What are their abilities? What is this boss ability? Each boss is different. And what are your abilities? What do you have? So understand the boss's ability versus your ability. And how do you defeat this boss based on what abilities you have versus it abilities. So those are the three things you need to really understand. And I have understood those three components. And once you understand those three components, then you'll have a much better perspective on this game. You know. And look, I know it's not for everyone, but I think if you are willing to give this a try, and if you're willing to learn and understand, I think you will appreciate this game more and more. You know. But obviously, if you're one of those guys like, whatever, I don't care, well, then you never cared to begin with. You know, then why are you even talking about Metroid? So you never cared to begin with, right? All right, so now that you save the game, you exit. Okay? And we already have unlocked the area, so there's no barrier. Okay? We'll take a photo here. And we're good to go. This way. There it is. But I'm not going to continue here. I'm going to stop here. No spoilers. All right. No spoilers. The whole point of this 23-minute video was for me to give you some tips to help you out. Okay. So you know how to get the last TK code so you can move on to the generator room. Okay. Which is the generator you need to activate to give the energy and the electricity. All right. So I hope that this video helps you out. Okay. If you need some more tips, let me know. But listen, I don't want to just make these tips videos. I'll make few more if you guys are really stuck and you don't know what to do. I'll make maybe a few more videos. But the whole point is I want you to figure this out yourself. You know, I'm giving you some tips here, and hopefully these tips that I'm giving you will help you understand on how to play Metroid. All right. All right. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. I'll have a few more videos to show you how to fight different bosses, you know, and how to defeat them, you know, but I don't want this to become like a new trend. Oh, Mr. 4K is the Mr. Metroid guy, so he's going to help me. No, I'm not supposed to like hold your hand and, hey, super easy. I'm just going to walk you right through it. You need to figure this out. You need to like, I'll give you some hints, what as I'm doing right now, some hints and tips, but ultimately it's you who has to think and use your brain and figure things out, you know. Because if I help you with everything, well, that's cheating. So what's the point? Like, you're not using your brain. If I have to, you know, babysit you and hold your hand, well, then, you know, then you're dependent on me. You know? All right. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Metroid. And that's funny because I hated Metroid, but that's because I did not understand it. Now that I understand it, I'm a huge fan. Like, yeah, you can call me Mr. Metroid for sure. Or Mr. Scanner, whatever. I don't care. I love Samus. I love Metroid. I want to play all of these Metroid games, including Metroid Prime 1 Remastered, all of the other Metroid games on a Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. But first, I need to finish Metroid Prime 4. All right. And again, big thanks to KJNBA. Honestly, I'm resurrected as a fan of Metroid because of him. Honestly, if he had never given me a gifted copy of this game, which I'm grateful that he did, there's no way that I would like ever like understand this game. I would be oblivious. I would still think the same thing, being stubborn, Yeah, Metroid sucks, blah 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 blah. It'd be like I'll be a total douchebag. But now I'm not because I have understood on how to play this game, and I'm trying to help you guys to understand the core principle of Metroid, so you too can become a Metroid fan. Don't listen to the noise of negativity out there, please. Uh, I'm trying to be genuine. I'm somebody who's genuine. I want to give you genuine perspective. Okay. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.